respect everything everyone is saying to me, and I don't want to fake apologize. I'm very upset about that people are misunderstood what I was saying.
I think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
The camera focuses on a courtroom. A woman sits hunched over, fingers trembling, eyes welling with tears. But this isn't just any defendant, it's Whoopi Goldberg, the untouchable queen of daytime television, completely unraveling before everyone's eyes.
It's not good for anyone, and it's not good for poor folks. It is not good for y'all because you become slave fodder. It's not a good thing. It's not good for women because you are now being told and dictated to, and you can't say anything because they, throw you in a jail or whatever.
The woman who made a career tearing others apart now finds herself falling apart. And the person responsible? 27-year-old conservative commentator Caroline Leavitt, who's done what many thought impossible, dragged Whoopi into court and forced her to answer for years of on-air attacks. What started as another heated segment on The View has exploded into an $800 million legal nightmare that has Whoopi breaking down and ABC executives scrambling for the exits.
People got very, very, very angry and still are angry. I mean, I'm getting, all of the mail from folks and the very real anger because people feel very different.
The transformation is shocking. Gone is the confident, boisterous personality who's commanded The View's table for years. In her place sits a visibly shaken woman who can barely maintain eye contact with the judge as damning evidence plays on courtroom screens. And Caroline? She sits quietly across the room, poised and determined, watching the empire she challenged crumble in real time. For years, The View has positioned itself as the voice of political reason, with hosts like Whoopi, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin delivering daily takedowns of conservatives with little consequence. They've built careers calling Republicans conspiracy theorists while getting nearly everything wrong themselves. The show became less about discussion and more about demolition, targeting anyone who dared challenge their political narrative. Their words carried weight until they met Karoline Leavitt, who refused to be just another victim of their on-air ambushes.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
The incident that sparked this courtroom showdown unfolded like countless View segments before it. A circle of hosts, a controversial guest, and political jabs disguised as conversation. Caroline appeared as a guest to discuss her rising platform in conservative media. Within minutes, the ambush began. Joy threw the first dart, mocking Caroline's political rise as nothing more than her looks. Whoopi followed, belittling her intelligence with the cutting remark, "If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and on and on." Sunny Hostin piled on, dismissing Caroline's entire career as nothing but white privilege in action. The audience laughed. The host smirked. Caroline remained composed, collecting her thoughts while enduring the public humiliation. But what happened next stunned everyone. Most celebrities respond with angry tweets or social media rants. Caroline responded with legal action so massive it made national headlines. Days after the appearance, Caroline filed a defamation lawsuit that sent shockwaves through ABC and the entertainment industry. The amount, $800 million. The targets, Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and ABC itself. The claims detailed a pattern of character assassination, targeted slander, and what her attorneys called a deliberate strategy of media bullying aimed at silencing conservative voices. But Caroline didn't stop there. Her legal team released a powerful statement that resonated far beyond political lines. This is about accountability, not politics. No woman should be publicly dismantled for daring to hold a different opinion. With those words, she transformed from political pundit to symbol of a new era where media figures must answer for their words. As the lawsuit progressed, industry insiders expected a quick settlement, standard practice for networks facing potentially embarrassing litigation. But Caroline refused private offers, insisting on her day in court. The damage was done publicly, her team stated, and accountability should be public too. This wasn't about money, it was about exposing a system that had operated unchecked for decades. When the courtroom proceedings began this week, Whoopi arrived with dark sunglasses and an unreadable expression. She entered surrounded by a team of high-priced attorneys, projecting confidence. That facade crumbled within hours. Caroline's legal strategy wasn't just compelling, it was devastating. Her team arrived with mountains of evidence, not just clips from the confrontation, but years of footage showing a pattern of targeted behavior. They had transcripts, production notes, and even internal communications suggesting the hosts had planned to make an example of Caroline before she even sat down at the table.
Raised a few eyebrows using the Bible to support the idea of kids getting gender change surgeries. Take a look.
This is a party that says we believe in parents' rights. You're telling me that as a parent, I'm not smart enough to decide if my child and I need to have gender affirming. Our doctors are not involved. What is going on? So I can't decide what my kid reads. I can't decide for my child what my child says is going on. You're telling me your beliefs, and they keep saying it, and I keep saying, what Bible are you reading? Because God was really clear. Very clear.
I would say this is a new low for The View, but it isn't. They've gone way lower before. It's certainly on brand for The View.
Eyewitnesses report that Whoopi physically trembled as video evidence played, showing her mocking Caroline's intelligence, appearance, and even her accent over multiple segments. Then came the internal documents, emails, call logs, and messages from producers suggesting they knew exactly what they were doing when they booked Caroline. One leaked document allegedly instructed producers to exploit her youth and put her on the defensive early. When asked about these documents, Whoopi reportedly deflected, claiming she wasn't aware of every production decision. Caroline's lawyer delivered the devastating response: ignorance isn't a defense when you have a microphone in front of millions. The courtroom fell silent, and observers noted Whoopi visibly sinking in her chair. Perhaps most damning was the evidence suggesting The View's producers deliberately edited segments to make conservative guests appear foolish, cutting responses mid-sentence and removing context. When confronted with this evidence, Whoopi struggled to respond, at one point burying her face in her hands while her attorney requested a brief recess. As Whoopi's composure cracked under questioning, Caroline remained the picture of calm professionalism. She didn't gloat or react to Whoopi's distress. Instead, she sat quietly, letting the evidence speak for itself. This stark contrast only highlighted what many observers called the generational shift playing out before their eyes, old media tactics crumbling against new media accountability. Behind the scenes, ABC is reportedly in full crisis mode. Executives are reviewing Whoopi's contract, calculating potential damages, and exploring whether The View can survive this unprecedented legal challenge. Multiple sources claim advertisers are quietly pulling deals, while viewership has dropped significantly since the lawsuit made headlines. ABC's PR team has remained suspiciously silent, fueling speculation that major changes are imminent. Industry analysts suggest the network is drawing up contingency plans, not just for Whoopi, but possibly for the entire show. If Caroline wins this case, the precedent it sets could change everything, explained one legal expert. Every offhand comment, every exaggerated claim could potentially become grounds for similar lawsuits. The financial stakes are staggering. Beyond the $800 million it claimed damages, The View generates significant advertising revenue for ABC. Losing the show, or being forced to dramatically reform it, could cost the network hundreds of millions in long-term revenue. And with multiple hosts named in the lawsuit, the talent costs alone could be catastrophic.
I'm stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now,
I'm sorry, guys. We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time.
If you don't have anything to say, you blab. You just go on and 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 on.
While Whoopi unravels under pressure, Caroline Leavitt is emerging as a voice of steel and principle. Her calm, factual approach in court has earned massive respect, even from those who disagree with her politics. Social media is buzzing with support, with hashtags like #JusticeForCaroline and #MediaAccountability trending across platforms. Former critics are praising her courage in standing tall against a legacy institution many say has operated without accountability for too long. She isn't playing the victim, she's setting the standard, commented one legal observer. This approach has resonated particularly with younger viewers who see Caroline's actions as representative of a generation unwilling to accept the media status quo. What makes this case particularly significant is its timing. It comes amid growing public frustration with media personalities who deliver personal attacks disguised as political commentary. Caroline isn't just fighting for herself, she's channeling the exhaustion many feel with a media landscape where personal destruction has replaced substantive debate. The fallout extends far beyond The View's studio. Other daytime shows are reportedly reviewing their practices, with producers instructing hosts to avoid personal attacks on guests. Network legal departments are conducting emergency reviews of past segments, identifying potential liability risks, and preparing for what some fear could be a wave of similar lawsuits.
Women are completely out of touch with reality, and you're right, ABC should wake up.
As this legal drama unfolds, The View's ratings paradoxically surge, viewers tuning in to watch hosts who suddenly seem far more restrained in their commentary. The irony isn't lost on industry observers. The lawsuit generating exactly the kind of attention the show has always craved, but for all the wrong reasons. So now it's your turn. Do you think Whoopi Goldberg crossed a line with her treatment of Caroline? Was Caroline right to take this to court rather than handling it through social media? Could this case change how media personalities conduct themselves on air? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.